Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Oh My K-Drama, your favorite drama recap channel. Today's episode is undoubtedly one of my favorites, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of my carefully crafted recaps. Kim enrolls in Lion, the school where the richest children in the country study. His lawyer tells him that his father's last wish is for him to graduate from that school. He cannot refuse because, if he does, his father will transfer his entire inheritance to his evil uncle. Faced with this situation, Kim puts on his uniform and heads to school, determined to make a good first impression. Believing himself to be a bully, he announces that he has come to ruin the school. However, instead of being scared, the students smile and applaud him, except for Han, his new desk mate, who is unimpressed by his strength. Kim then asks who the strongest boy is so he can fight him, but Han finds him immature and ignores him. Then, he notices Bogan, a boy who looks dangerous, and asks if he has ever fought before. Bogan replies that he doesn't like violence, but Kim doesn't trust his mysterious smile. Suddenly, a boy offers him some bread, but Kim suspects it's poisoned and throws it on the ground, yelling at everyone. Han steps in, explaining that the boy just wanted to be his friend, and forces Kim to apologize. He refuses and challenges her in front of everyone to assert his dominance. Unfazed, Han tells him that he lacks intelligence. Angered by the remark, Kim challenges her to a fight. She accepts and tells him to meet her on the rooftop, where she will show him what pain is. However, once there, he is caught off guard. Instead of a physical fight, the students have arranged an intelligence battle on general culture. Since Kim has never been good at studying, he fails to answer any of the questions, while Han, who is highly intelligent, gets them all right and wins. Bogan laughs, and Kim asks if he is laughing at him. Just as they are about to fight, the teacher intervenes, reminding them that fights are forbidden at the school and that no conflicts have taken place there for years. Later, some girls mock Kim for his lack of knowledge. He feels humiliated because, at his old school, he never cared about learning and preferred to excel in fights. That's one of the reasons his father never valued or loved him. While walking, he bumps into Jane, a girl who looks visibly sad due to bullying from Sarah, the most popular girl in school, who enjoys harassing other students. Kim notices everything and sets his sights on Sarah. Soon after, Han walks past him, laughing. Kim then asks a friend to tell him everything about her. His friend explains that Han is the school's top student, always behaving admirably and honestly. Moreover, all the boys at school are in love with her, though she has broken many hearts. Intrigued, Kim decides to make her fall for him to uncover her true personality. He starts trying to charm her, but during class, the teacher asks a question about the Korean educational system. Kim gives a silly answer, making the students laugh at him again, while Han answers correctly, making Kim feel even more insulted. At lunch, Kim discovers that the students receive top-quality food. The cook explains that the former principal cared deeply about students' nutrition. Kim feels envious, realizing that his father never cared that much for him. Meanwhile, Han glares at him with disdain and tells her friends that Kim is a strange guy. However, one of her friends disagrees, saying he has a super cute face. In truth, she likes dangerous boys and seems interested in Kim. When Kim and Han exchange glances, a spark of love flickers between them. However, soon after, Han asks the principal to expel Kim, claiming that he is distracting the students. Upon discovering this, Kim acts quickly. He calls the school's vice president, pretending to be his boss, and tells him that the students are receiving food that is too good, causing financial losses for the school. The next day, the military arrives at the school, and the students receive a much cheaper meal while a soldier forces them to eat it. The students dislike the food, and Han argues with the soldier, who orders her to shut up. She immediately gives in and starts eating. Later, Han knocks on the principal's door to complain, but she didn't expect to find Kim there, celebrating his first victory at school. However, when she looks out the window, she discovers that a mother has hired a 5-star chef to prepare a special meal for the students instead of the army's terrible food. Furious, she curses them. Meanwhile, Jane walks by, and Sarah calls out to her, laughing at her for being poor. It turns out that Jane's father works for Sarah's family. With a forced smile, Sarah tells Jane she should be happy since her father provides for her. Witnessing this bullying, Han steps in and tells Sarah she should be ashamed, threatening to report her to the disciplinary committee. However, it is revealed that Han is the only one allowed to intimidate others at school because her mother is extremely powerful. Seeing no way out for her future, Jane climbs to the rooftop, considering jumping. Just then, Kim appears behind her and makes her rethink her decision. He is kind to her, but Jane laments that she has terrible luck and is tired of being bullied. Kim then suggests they team up to change the school and, most importantly, stop Sarah from harassing others. He tells her that if she wants to hear his plan, she must come down from the rooftop and offers her his hand. However, she stumbles and falls on top of him just as Han enters the rooftop. Seeing them together in a compromising position, she misinterprets the situation, growing as jealous as a lioness in love. The next day, all the students congratulate Kim for winning over Jane and start chanting his name. He becomes the hero of the school, and Han remains jealous, even though Kim is simply gaining popularity. Ever since he arrived, he has turned the entire school upside down. She comments that trouble follows him everywhere, but beneath her harsh words, a new feeling begins to grow. Suddenly, a woman enters the classroom, introducing herself as the new ethics teacher. Her behavior is completely different from the other teachers. During her lesson, she explains how students can end up becoming criminals. Han dislikes her teaching methods and becomes even more upset when the teacher yells at a shy boy, making him cry. But that's not the only strange thing happening. A DJ is suddenly placed inside the library, turning it into a party with music and singing. Han realizes that studying in this environment has become impossible as chaos takes over the school, something that Kim, on the other hand, enjoys. Meanwhile, Jane and Kim grow closer. Grateful that he saved her, she asks for his phone number, surprising him. He gives it to her but warns that they are just friends and that she can call if she ever needs help. Kim's kindness makes Jane fall for him even more. Shortly after, Kim's lawyer calls him in for a meeting, informing him that his uncle wants to take control of the school and become the new principal. Kim is not happy about this, knowing that his uncle is a despicable man who takes advantage of the weak. If he gains control, the school will become a place of corruption. Before Kim can come up with a solution, he is interrupted by the arrival of his old school friends, who are also gangsters. They mock his elegant appearance and laugh at him. Kim doesn't find it funny, and his former friends aren't pleased to see that he has changed. They taunt him, trying to provoke a fight. The gang leader approaches him and says that Kim has gone soft, threatening to break his teeth. Kim feels his anger rising and is about to fight, but his new school friends arrive, and he stops. He realizes that if he fights the gangsters, they will discover his true identity, that he is actually part of the underworld. Then Kim behaves well, and it's Han who talks to the bullies. However, they don't like her, believing that she has too much money, and they start insulting her. Kim steps in, telling them that if they mistreat her, they will regret it. At that moment, the bullies notice that Han seems to like him and ask if she is his girlfriend. Upon hearing this, Han feels an immense rage and gives a sarcastic smile. She then warms up her fists, and within seconds, she starts beating the bullies mercilessly, even landing a kick to the face of one of them. The bullies flee, except for one who still lingers. However, with just one word from Han, he also leaves. It is revealed that, as a child, Han competed in a Taekwondo championship and even won gold medals. Kim now feels a bit afraid of her, but at the same time, he falls even more in love. He starts thinking about opportunities to kiss her, but Han is focused on something else and asks him about the bullies from the previous day. Kim tries to downplay the situation, saying they were nobodies, but Han isn't convinced. She suspects they bullied him at his previous school and tells him he doesn't need to act tough in front of her. She knows he has a kind heart. Kim is left speechless, and just then, Jane arrives and speaks to him with such affection that it makes Han jealous. Jane also brings food and insists they eat together, calling Kim her Prince Charming and saying he deserves the best. He begins to fear that they might be secretly dating. During class, Kim gets distracted by Han's lips and can't focus. The teacher scolds him for his poor performance and lack of intelligence. Trying to help, Han decides to teach him through music, but he still can't concentrate. Frustrated, Kim asks his lawyer to arrange for the teachers to pass him without exams. However, the lawyer informs him that after his father's death, he lost that kind of power and is stuck in school until he graduates. For Kim, this is a nightmare. By chance, he encounters his uncle, who is surprised to see him in a school uniform. The man tells him that this school is not suitable for him. Suddenly, he grabs Kim by the neck, intimidating him. He claims that Kim is as stubborn as his mother, who died in a car accident years ago. Deep down, Kim suspects that his uncle was responsible for his parents' deaths to seize their inheritance. Now, he is the only one standing in his uncle's way. As Kim walks alone, Han appears and shares an umbrella with him. However, he tells her that he doesn't need her help. Han replies that his arrogance won't help him make friends. Her smile pierces his soul like a drill, instantly improving his mood. During class, Kim doesn't care about the teacher's words. His eyes are only on Han, the son of his life. That's when he realizes he has fallen in love with her. At the end of the lesson, he asks what she wants to be when she grows up. She says her dream is to become a doctor to help those in need. Additionally, doctors make good money and can buy a house. Meanwhile, Jane is harassed by Sarah and her group of bullies. Kim, nearby, watches as Sarah mocks Jane for carrying too much makeup, saying she doesn't need it because she's ugly. Jane starts crying. Kim, realizing they're going too far, steps in and begins recording Sarah, threatening to expose her behavior and ruin her reputation. Then, Jane gives him a thankful hug for saving her, as she has endured this terrible bullying for years, and he gives her all the support she needs. In fact, he even accompanies her to buy the makeup that was broken, and she tells him, showing her bright red lips, asking if he thinks she is pretty. Seeing them together makes Kim so jealous that his heart burns, but he acts as if he doesn't care. Even though there is a fire inside his soul that hurts him, Bogan takes advantage of the situation and carries Jane's backpack, showing that he can be a good boyfriend for her. Bogan keeps flirting and tells her that she has celestial beauty, but his words don't have as much impact as if Kim had said them. Kim then smacks his head for failing the exam, and Han tells him not to give up. He replies that he has to be better than her. Then he manages to change the topic from mathematics to video games, and he feels happy, but even so, they play a game, and Han beats him in the video game. He wonders if she is a superhero, and just looking at her makes his heart happy. At that moment, her mother asks which boys she likes, and both Kim and Bogan become very attentive, listening carefully to what she says. She avoids the question, but her mother notices that, by the way Kim looks at her, he is definitely in love with her, and it seems super romantic to her. Then, when Kim keeps getting bad grades, his mother tells the lawyer to take him to her house, and he finds himself getting private lessons with Han, the love of his life. Kim realizes that she is not actually super rich, but has a scholarship to the school because she is smart and studies so hard. Because if she gets bad grades, she will be expelled from the school and won't be able to become a doctor. So, in class, Han tries not to get distracted, but Kim can't stay quiet even underwater, and the two end up arguing in school. There is a lot of tension between them, even though he can't help but spy on what she says. Then he sits beside her and studies with her. However, he quickly gets tired and tells her that one of his dreams is to pass an exam and graduate. Then she tells him to go somewhere else if he wants to bother her, because he is making her nervous. He makes her even more uncomfortable when she asks about his relationship with Bogan because she wants to know if he is her boyfriend. She changes the subject and takes advantage of the moment to ask about his relationship with Jane since they seem close, and he realizes that she is jealous, which he likes because it means she has feelings for him. However, Bogan feels bad seeing them together and plays basketball, waiting for the exact moment to talk to her about Han. Then, Bogan explains that they have been friends for a long time and confesses that he has been in love with her since they were little. They became rivals for Han's love, and the first to attack is Bogan, who posts a comment on Han's Instagram saying that she has super cute hair, and Han replies with a little heart. This makes Kim furious, and suddenly, Jane scares him from behind, making him drop his phone, and she finds out that he was looking at Han. She warns him that Han has rejected all the boys who tried to kiss her and that if he dates her, all the boys will hate him. He is willing to take that risk and meets with her to take a test. However, his level is still very weak, so she helps him with his studies, and the distance between their hearts is closing. Every time they solve a problem, they share a smile, which is the best reward Kim can have for doing his best in every subject. Then, as a final gift, she gives him a special pen in which all her love is deposited and tells him that with this pen, he will be able to pass the final exam. So he takes care of it as if it were a treasure and takes the exam with the goal of shutting his aunt's mouth and, most importantly, getting closer to Han's lips. He tries his best, but suddenly, Han gets dizzy and falls to the ground, hitting it hard. Kim comes to her aid and takes her to the infirmary, where her mother and he take care of her with a lot of love. The first thing she does when she wakes up is worry about her test. Kim tells her that she got 0 because she didn't finish it. That is terrible for her because, with that grade, she won't be able to graduate and her future is at risk. Unlike Sarah, who is overjoyed when she finds out she got the best grade in the school. She throws a luxurious party with her friends, while Han works delivering food to earn money. And who appears at the party delivering food? Han. She feels completely humiliated. Sarah laughs at her for being poor. It turns out they didn't even want the food. They just wanted to see her crawling for money. So Han tries to return the money for the food but sees that she doesn't have enough in her wallet and feels even worse. Then, Bogan appears, and Han thinks that he is celebrating the party with them, and because of the shame she feels, she asks him never to speak to her again. Han leaves, and her mother, worried, asks where she is. To avoid any concern, she lies, saying that she is at the party with her friends and is having a great time. Meanwhile, Kim finds her alone, and she cannot hold back her tears. All the sadness weighing on her heart bursts out because she feels that the rich never treat the poor well. She is tired of feeling marginalized and harassed. Seeing Han in such a bad state, Kim decides to act. He asks the vice principal to let her retake the test, arguing that it is unfair for her to receive a 0 just because she fainted. However, the vice principal replies that favoritism in school is negative and refuses to allow the test to be retaken. Kim then notices the security cameras near the classroom exit. Upon checking them, he discovers something shocking. A teacher took Han's water bottle and laughed suspiciously. Furious, Kim confronts him, demanding to know what his interest is in hurting his beloved. In response, the teacher grabs Kim by the neck and tries to strangle him. Kim, however, reacts quickly, headbutting him in the nose and declaring that he will bring justice to bad people like him in this school. Just then, some students arrive and the teacher takes the opportunity to accuse Kim of hitting him. As a result, Kim is taken to the vice principal's office for interrogation. The vice principal immediately assumes that Kim is guilty, but he defends himself, explaining that the teacher tried to kill him. As a last resort, Kim threatens to reveal the teacher's involvement with sleeping pills. Under pressure, the teacher withdraws his accusation. Shortly after, Kim's uncle appears and, without hesitation, slaps him so hard that his head turns to the side. The man calls him the scum of the family, and, just as he is about to hit him again, Kim stops him by grabbing his arm firmly. With a look of disdain, Kim declares that he regrets being his nephew and knows that his uncle is a mafioso who kills people without remorse. He states that he is proud not to resemble him in any way and walks away with dignity, leaving his uncle stunned by his behavior. The next day, the school finally allows the students to retake the test, and Han is happy about the opportunity. However, Sarah, furious, considers it unfair and starts screaming like a madwoman. In a fit of rage, she even hits Han, who leaves, feeling unloved and misunderstood. Kim follows her and tries to comfort her, telling her that, of course, there are people who love her. Above all, he has an infinite love for her. However, before he can continue, Jane interrupts them, and Kim is forced to accompany her home. Soon after, it is revealed that all the problems Han has faced were caused by Kim's uncle. He manipulated the teachers against her because Sarah's mother pressured him to ensure her daughter would be the top student and ruin Han's reputation. To achieve this, Kim's uncle paid $2 million to a teacher to set her up. However, something went wrong. The teacher was found dead in his office. Kim also sees the body and immediately calls the police. Unfortunately, he becomes the prime suspect, as the teacher left a note before dying, blaming him for all his misfortunes. Rumors spread quickly in school that Kim killed the teacher. Later, while at home, Kim is suddenly ambushed by mafiosos. Without warning, they brutally beat him with a baseball bat. After being severely injured, he is thrown into a car with a bag over his head. Kim tries to escape and begs them to let him go, and when he has the opportunity, he bites one of their fingers, creating chaos that allows him to get out of the car. He manages to escape and wakes up in the hospital, covered in head injuries, with Han by his side. He asks what happened, and she reveals that he called her while he was semi-conscious. Even though his entire body hurts, he decides to leave, but he cannot go back home because the gangsters will be waiting to kill him. So, he ends up staying at Han's house. There, her mother takes care of his wounds and says she'll treat him like the son she never had. However, she gives him a girl's pajama, and when she sees him wearing it, she laughs and apologizes for not having any male pajamas. He says it doesn't matter because it's comfortable, but Han makes fun of him. Then she prepares his bed, and for a moment, he thinks they will sleep together, but Han quickly takes that idea out of his head as she sleeps in another room. This annoys Kim, who stays awake, talking to her and sharing secrets that bring their souls closer. After that, he goes to the exam alone so that no one knows he is living at Han's house, and on the way, he meets his uncle, who says he didn't think he would see him around here again. He replies that he is not going to give up, and in the classroom, everyone looks at him strangely, except for his friends, who say they missed him and believe in his innocence. This makes him start the test with more confidence, and when he finishes, he finds out that he got a 5, and even though it is a normal grade, he starts shouting with joy because it is actually the best grade he has ever gotten in his life. Han is very happy for him, and Kim explains that if she hadn't believed in him, he would have left, and she is the reason he continues to live and breathe. Upon hearing this, Bogan, feeling jealous, goes to the rooftop, where Sarah is. She confesses that she stayed in Korea to be with him. It turns out that Bogan was going to leave the country, but in the end, he decided to stay, and Sarah stayed as well because she is in love with him. But Bogan replies that he cannot return her love, and the two are left heartbroken. After that, Kim meets his Mafia friend and asks him about those who tried to kidnap him, and he tells her that it was his uncle who was behind the conspiracy. Kim, then disappointed with the betrayal, goes to his house and discovers Han and her mother, who have prepared a surprise cake for him to celebrate his birthday. Then he remembers when he celebrated his birthday alone with his lawyer because his parents were never home, and he is used to feeling alone, except now that Han, upon hearing him cry, enters his room and decides to stay with him. And Kim explains that today is the day his mother died, so he says that his birthday always feels sad, although now, looking into her beautiful eyes, he feels better and plans his revenge against his uncle. However, at a school board meeting, his uncle is chosen to become the school principal, so they inform the students about this, and he worries because he knows the evil his uncle is capable of and that he is even willing to kill to achieve his goals. At that moment, a new student named Jimmy arrives at school on a motorcycle, and they discover that he is a transfer student from Kim's old school. His classmates get so excited to see him, and when he introduces himself, the teacher pushes him aside and says that he came to dominate the school and does not plan to make friends. Even so, the students applaud him, and the teacher says they should help him adapt to the school. Kim then goes to the bathroom and sees him drinking and smoking and tells him that he should be ashamed because smoking is prohibited. Jimmy doesn't pay attention to her and confesses that he followed him to this school to compete with him and, above all, because he couldn't stand the other school without him, and he paid a lot of money to be transferred here. After that, there is a perfume store, and suddenly, Jane looks super cute with makeup and without glasses. Kim now sees her as much more attractive, and she tells him that now she is dedicated to being a beauty influencer. Kim helps her record a video where she gives makeup tips and uploads it to YouTube, and in the end, the comments say nice things about her, and she likes that now people treat her well, and all of this is thanks to Kim. She touches his hand and lets Kim know that she is interested in him. But then she gets jealous because he bought a lipstick and it wasn't for her. She asks which girl he likes and finds out that it is Han, which makes Kim's heart race, and he sees stars when he thinks about her. However, Jane sees that Han has always liked Bogan, and this thought enters her soul, giving her anxiety, and just thinking about Bogan and Han kissing pierces her soul. Then, seeing that his beloved is late coming home, he gets worried, and his mother tells him to calm down. However, he is super nervous, and when she arrives, he discovers that she went to see a movie at a rich boy's house, and of course, he is not happy at all. The next day, Kim goes to give her the lipstick as a gift, but Bogan gets ahead of him and gives her the same lipstick. So he feels disappointed and hides the gift in his pocket while cursing his bad luck. After that, Jane discovers a head in her locker with insults written in makeup. The culprit is obvious. Sarah laughs at her for being a YouTuber and threatens to tell her father. Jane stops her from telling him because then he will punish her, so they look for a solution and call Han to the vice principal's office, where she is accused of bullying Jane. Jane does not even dare to look at her, and she says she is innocent and has never bullied anyone. But the vice principal does not believe her and decides to expel her from school without her being able to do anything about it. Then we see Jane looking at Han as she leaves crying because it was all a trap set up by Sarah to expel her. She tells Jane that she now belongs to her group of friends and promises that they will no longer bully her. Then Kim discovers this conspiracy against Han and demands explanations from Jane, who confesses that she falsely accused her, but she does not know what it is like to suffer bullying every day, and that is why she accused her. Kim tells her that they are no longer friends and leaves disappointed, going to his house, where Han does not want to get out of bed. Her mother tells him that she is super sad and is also getting sick. Then he promises to help her get accepted back into school, and her mother cries with joy because Kim is a guardian angel who has come down from heaven to protect her daughter. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Sarah meet at a party, and he tries to seduce her. She is surprised at how direct he is, and he replies that beautiful girls make him very direct. Between them, we see a connection that leads to love, and they form a team against Kim. Kim goes to see Han because she has not eaten for several days and does not want to eat because her dream of college has been ruined, and she sees no point in continuing to live. So Kim responds by giving his uncle a letter signed by all his friends, in which they state that Han's character is perfect and that she is an admirable girl who deserves to be admitted back to school. But his uncle refuses to admit her again, so Kim changes his strategy and gives him a USB in which there is a recording of Sarah confessing that she was responsible for the bullying. It turns out that on the day of the party, Jimmy turned on the recorder on his phone while talking to Sarah and made her confess. And that is not the only thing, because Kim is sure that his uncle was responsible for killing the teacher who gave the sleeping pill to his beloved. Kim threatens to leak this news to the newspapers so they will know that this school is rotten if they do not admit Han back into the school. Then Kim asks for help because some criminals entered her store and say they bought the building and that they must leave their own home. So Kim goes to help her and sees the store completely destroyed, and Han, crying, says that all of this is his fault for having entered her life. She throws him out of there, and he, feeling guilty, runs to the elections to be the new school director. And when they're about to choose his uncle, he enters and confesses that he is the mysterious director. It turns out that all this time, he had been the director while at the same time acting as a student, and he kept this a secret because he did not want to feel superior to his classmates. Then his uncle forces them to hold new elections and proposes that in the coming days, the new director will be chosen. The competition is clear. The battle for the position of director is between Kim and his uncle, and he doesn't know if he has the support of his friends because many still feel betrayed. Meanwhile, Jane apologizes to Han and explains that she accused her because she was afraid. Han responds that bullying will never be defeated with lies. Jane knows she deserves Han's resentment because she treated her badly, but she asks her not to hate Kim because he has always been kind to her and has a pure heart. Jane reminds her that he was the one who saved her life and encouraged her to continue studying. Han knows this is true, recognizing that Kim's soul only has good intentions. Because of this, she forgives Jane. However, bad news arrives. The school is going through financial difficulties and can no longer fund Han's scholarship. This means her only hope is for Kim to win the elections and restore the school's prestige. The future of the students now depends on him. Shortly before the vote, Kim's lawyer hands him some documents, including a photo of his late mother. He remembers when she used to cook for him, always with a smile on her face. This memory makes him feel happy, but it also reveals a painful truth. His mother died in a car accident caused by excessive work and stress. Kim recalls the day she was taken to the hospital and, despite efforts to save her, she died before his eyes, leaving him crying in despair. The next day, he puts on a suit and heads to the school for the elections. His uncle also appears and begins a speech by saying that running the school is a great responsibility and that they cannot allow an 18-year-old to take on something so important. His employees applaud him, reinforcing his position. Now it's Kim's turn to speak. He admits that he is young for the role but assures everyone that his ambition and commitment make up for it. He declares that he understands the students' dreams because he has learned the true meaning of friendship from his friends. Above all, he states that Han taught him how to love with his heart and that life, if not shared with those we love, is a waste of time. Then, he asks for their votes in favor of true love. At that moment, a teacher reveals that Kim's uncle paid her not to report the professor's murder. His uncle tries to defend himself, claiming that she is lying to help Kim win the elections. However, Kim's lawyer presents a list of all the crimes committed by his uncle. Desperate, the man lunges at Kim, trying to silence him. The two get into a fierce fight until the police arrive and arrest Kim's uncle for corruption and murder. With that, Kim becomes the new school director. However, he decides to continue as a student because he wants to graduate and become an honest man, leaving his past as a gangster behind. The best part is that, wherever he goes, Han is always by his side. She is his compass, guiding his heart every day. To her, he dedicates all his love and gratitude because she was the one who taught him that violence brings nothing good. The true power lies in love. Kim has finally found his true love. Now, he not only kisses Han's skin, but every day kisses her soul. And well, if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any content. I'm also leaving more videos here that I'm sure you'll love. Thank you so much for your time and see you next time.